Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Govberg, and thanks for logging on. Today we are looking at the IWC Pilot's Watch Perpetual Calendar Digital Day Date in stainless steel. You can see this immensely complicated 46mm stainless steel Pilot's Watch on our website, govbergwatches.com. And if you enjoy these videos, please subscribe to our app, Govberg On Time, for the latest news, views, reviews, and of course videos of luxury watches. Now on my wrist, 6 1/3 inches, 16 centimeters in circumference, this is the big dog, effectively the same size as the big Pilot's Watch, 46mm across the round of the case, not including chronograph pushers or crowns. It's also an incredible roughly 18mm thick, including the domed sapphire, and 57mm from extremity of lug to extremity of lug across the broad of the wrist. So this is a watch that means business from a proportional standpoint. As complicated as it is, that's how big it is. Now it's very hefty. In terms of mass, this was the 2015 innovation that changed the game a little bit. The watch itself was introduced in 2012 in precious metal. 2015 we get the steel version here, but I can tell you that you would not know eyes closed that this isn't precious metal. The heft on the wrist is awesome. It's a real pleasure. It feels the premium product. Now the strap is upscale. Normally a Pilot's Watch would feature calfskin. Here we have rectangular scale alligator leather. This is really what you would expect on a watch of this caliber. With a retail price of over $31,000, you don't expect IWC to cut corners. This is gator, not calf, and the watch is wonderful for it. Now on the bottom side, you do get calf for souplesse against the skin. This makes the watch more comfortable and a little bit more flexible on the wrist. Now, although it is an immense watch, you can see that the strap is one of the non-constrained versions, which is to say that the spring bars themselves don't conform to the flank of the case, so with that little extra space to move, they can bend down around the flow of a smaller wrist, so the curvature of a smaller forearm can work with this watch. You just have to be ready for the fact that it's incredibly heavy, incredibly broad, and about 18mm thick. Now that said, the watch has a beautiful and beautifully finished, very robust, single-arm deployant clasp to match. You want a monster machine holding this monster machine on your wrist, and this clasp really is the business. Beautifully engraved with a brushed finish, it has a gorgeous polished facet along its flank, and of course the inside is fully finished with the IWC marquee inset. Beautifully made, very tough. It's up to the task of keeping this nearly half-pound watch secured on your wrist. Now the watch features standout styling elements that are characteristic of the Spitfire models. Since 2003, IWC has offered Spitfire variants of its Pilot's watches, and that's basically just a way of saying that the finish is upscale. You have applied numerals instead of printed, of course applied indices. You have a stepped minute track outboard of the hour track. There's a beautiful metallic sunburst that radiates out from the cannon pinion at center. Now everything, all the applied elements are white gold, as are the hands at center. Fully lumed. This is a watch that you can read day or night. Now it does have a little flash of color in the subdial at 6 o'clock. Now that is both your leap year indicator and your sub-seconds. And there's a reason why I have the watch hacked and stopped, and that's because I want to demonstrate the function of the Kurt Claus designed digital date month perpetual calendar. Now this is significant because this watch was not running for a little bit, so it's still on 2015 time. You can see the leap year cycle indicator is at 3, 2016 is 4, it's the Olympic year, and we're still set to the 26th of December. Now I'm going to move the hands out of the way. I'm going to engage the quick set for the movement. I'm going to get that little seconds hand out of the way, and you're going to see all indications which are coordinated. There's only one control through the crown. You're going to see the date, the month, and the leap year change. Just like that. Everything is coordinated. It can never get out of sync. And that's the genius of the Kurt Claus system. User-friendly, easily read. It's quite possibly the ultimate perpetual calendar mechanism available on the market today, rivaled only by Ludwig Oxland's Ulysse Nardin perpetual system. But on the case back, this watch will give UN a run for its money. Now you're looking at the caliber 89801 with a winding mass on the skeletonized rotor that does remind us this is in fact a Spitfire edition within the IWC Pilot's Watch catalog. Now this is about as complicated as a movement gets. So let's read down the roster of features. 51 joules, 474 parts, a 68-hour power reserve, a 4 Hz free-sprung balance. The watch features IWC's bidirectional 4-pawl Peloton winding system, not the 2-pawl system seen on other calibers. Now, it does have a vertical clutch for smooth engagement of the chronograph, and it does have a column wheel for crisp engagement of all functions. The vertical clutch engages the chronograph. The column wheel is the function selector that cycles between the start, the stop, and the reset. Now, with the vertical clutch, you can just keep center seconds running, which is to say there is no lateral clutch mechanism to wear down, so there's no additional wear and tear on the movement if you do prefer to just have hours, minutes, and seconds at the center of the dial on the coaxial cannon pinion. So essentially, what you're looking at is a watch that has beautiful fit finish, incredible wrist presence, immense complication, and I should mention that the sub-register at 12 o'clock is a monocounter, so you have hours and minutes on a single dial to maintain the cruciform symmetry of the dial itself. So you have hours, minutes, and seconds via the chronograph with the clean look of a double register, the functionality of a tri-register, and of course one of the finest perpetual calendar systems on the market. The watch is fascinating to admire on either side. This watch is packed with function. It's an IWC original, from the winding system to the perpetual calendar to the big pilot aesthetic itself. This is about as Schaffhausen as it gets. You can see this IWC Pilot's Watch Perpetual Calendar Digital Date Month chronograph on our website, govbergwatches.com.